Hi, friends.
Hi, friends.
We're back for episode 40
Oh, 40. It's all
of
downhill
the
from here.
Brunch and Judge. We're your hosts. I'm April,
And I'm Claire.
and we're excited for you to join us on this week's adventures into true crime, paranormal, and other weird shit.
That's right.
And this week's episode falls more into the paranormal-ish realms.
Mine does.
Because this week we are doing spooky.
Yes.
Which, yes, I know, Halloween's over, but let's be honest, Halloween is never out of our hearts.
It's true. Also, we don't control the wheel. Okay.
It's
The
true.
wheel the wheel of fate dealt us those cards. It's fine.
We we must do what the fates tell us. What can I
That's
say?
right. That's right. Like the wheel is like Oz. It's just like
Yes, yes, we must follow wherever it leads. There is
right.
no diversions from the path.
Nope.
We are
All
not a
right.
cult. It is okay. Okay.
All right.
So, Claire, what are you judging this week?
Uh it's election season. I hate it.
It sure is.
I hate it. But you know what I hate even more? Our local radio ads.
Oh, God. I'm sorry.
Well, because I don't really have cable. I watch the news in the morning through my Paramount Plus app, the local CBS channel. So I see some of them, and they've just got the worst jingles. It's just like, what is this jingle? Who wrote this? And one of them are here on the radio. And see, where I live in E Town, we're like 45 minutes south of Louisville.
Hmm.
So we get a lot of the Louisville ads because here's the thing. One of the radio stations I listen to, Wacky, it's an oldie station. I love oldies. It bills itself as a Louisville station, but it's located in E Town.
Sure.
Like the actual station is in Elizabethtown.
Well, that's sort of a suburb
45
of
minutes
Louisville.
south. Anyway, so they build themselves as a Louisville station, like they're in stupid Louisville, but they're not.
Hmm.
So don't, there's like, oh, the traffic report. I'm like, you all don't know what the traffic report is. You're not in Louisville. But so it's all Louisville candidates for JCPS school board,
Right.
Jefferson County Public Schools school board, their magistrates, their whatever, I don't even know. And it's just like these stupid jingles come on the radio. One of them sounds like they took it's for some woman. Um Hit 'em with your best shot by Pat Benatar.
Oh,
And they
Lord. Huh?
altered it just slightly. So it's like the tune is just slightly off from that
Right.
one and the lyric, but you're like, you totally ripped that off from Pat Benatar. I'm
Right.
sorry.
Hmm.
And then there's another one for the guy, and the only reason I know it is because they say his name like 95 times in the thing, and they spell it because it's a weird last name, but it's Hagley.
Okay.
And it's like Hagley, please vote for Hagley,
Oh,
Hagele. You're like, oh my god. I'm just like, like stop. And it's everywhere. It's on all the stations. All the stations have their own brand of like bad jingle for vote for me business. And I'm just like, make it stop. I'm so glad that Tuesday is like right around the corner
yes.
because
Hmm.
November, because we're recording this on what's today, the 5th,
The
November
5th.
5th.
Hmm.
Yeah, so the 8th is right around the corner. This is also my PSA. Go vote. I know you'll hear this like after the fact, but still, go
I hope you
vote.
voted or we're going to come at you. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't complain if you didn't vote. Anyway, but it's just like these jingles, they're bad. I don't know who writes them.
I mean, it's one thing that I guess I'm fortunate. I don't really listen to the radio a whole lot because I'm in the middle of nowhere, so we don't get a whole lot of stations that
Right,
don't
right,
viscerally make me react. And
right.
so I listen to the classical music station if I'm listening to the
Gotcha.
radio. It's pretty safe. But
I mean, because I listen to this
I
radio
guess
station because it's like my commute to work is literally like less than 10 minutes.
right.
It's not even worth like hooking up the Spotify or whatever, you know. It's 10
No,
minutes,
yeah,
whatever,
absolutely.
you know.
I don't know that I realized that we had gone back to jingles.
Mm, mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's cool. It's cool. I'm pro jingle. In fact, I can sing most jingles from childhood because that's what happens, but I don't know if I
Right. No.
want those
You
jingles.
don't want these jingles stuck in your head. Absolutely not. No. It's just and it kills me because it's like I don't even vote for these people. I know more about like Louisville politics than I do my own local politics. It's
Right.
ridiculous. You know, it's just like good grief. Anyway, that's my judge. Are these jingles that just are like, why? Why?
That
Stop.
is excellent. Um, my judge is very similar, actually.
Is it?
It's not like the radio jingles. It's sort of two things. Um, we were we have a smart TV that
Yes.
has
Uh-huh.
channels that just random built-in channels. I don't know how to
Oh
describe
yeah.
it.
Hmm.
Anyway, um, one of them, the only one that we ever really watch, and I mean watch in the loosest terms.
Right. Like it's on for background noise. Yeah.
Yeah, is called Retro Crush, and it's literally like old, like Japanese style cartoons, like Street
Nice.
Fighter, like the Street
Oh
Fighter
yeah.
cartoon, or like
Yeah.
those things. It's ouch, sorry, I just kicked the stupid table.
Oops.
Ouch. But so every once in a while there will be a commercial of some kind. Normally they
Uh-huh.
just take like a weird retro crush break and they'll have like a countdown timer of when it's going to come back on for whatever reason.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever. I guess to make it line up time wise. But there was a commercial about how the Democrats um were essentially, ever since the Democrats came into power, there has been an increase in hate crime against Asians, and that the only way to protect Asians against hate is to vote in Republicans. And it's like, I'm sorry.
Oh
I'm
good
sorry.
lord.
Excuse me, what now? The hell are you saying? Who
No.
who caused all the hate crimes on Asians? Was it Trump? Was it? Yeah, it was Trump. So I'm
Right.
like, what the what in the actual hell? So I was
Right.
like, so the fact that there are people who are stupid enough, and there are,
Oh, 100%.
um, to be persuaded by that argument, even though it's like, no, hate crime started under Trump because of Trump and the rest of the Republican Party.
Right.
It's it's not the Democrats.
I know,
It's
right.
like,
It's
what the
like,
hell are you even okay? Um, but I was
jeez.
like, this is a station of old cartoons. Who are
Like, why is
you?
this even on here?
And like we saw it once and I was like, fuck. Whatever, that's weird. But then I guess they bought a bunch of ad space on it, so we saw it a couple times. I'm going, the hell?
You're like, wait, what?
But like, so just the ridiculousness of that is what I'm judging, because
Right.
the second thing that came across my world this week was former President Obama.
Yes.
And it was a TikTok I watched. But so
Oh, nice.
he was doing I think he was giving a speech as like a fundraiser for Governor Whitmire, I think is how you say it.
Okay.
God help me. Um, and apparently the opponent to the governor uh recently, or said like in the last couple of years, something like the Democratic Party is really this whole big like conspiracy. They're still mad about losing the Civil War, is essentially what she was saying, and that the
What?
pandemic was all part of that plan in order to
What?
like get back at the Republicans and people because they lost the Civil War. And like my favorite thing about it is like, so Obama is
That
telling
is
us
the
all this.
most QAnon junk I have ever heard.
And so
Like, that
Obama,
is.
yes. But what was great was Obama was like, it's like, a couple things. Number one, what? Like,
Right.
what?
Yes.
And he was like,
100%.
he's like, no, no. And he made this comment. He was like, so the person that some people are going to vote for to run their state is someone who thinks that making the entire country watch Tiger King in their pajamas was part of the conspiracy in order to do what? And I was like, oh my
Right.
God. It was the most ridiculous thing. And he was like, it's like, I get it. Sometimes we say things, and it's out of context or it happened a long time ago. I too
Right.
was young, essentially. Like, I went to parties and I probably said stuff that makes absolutely no sense anymore. But he was like,
Right.
this was 2 years ago. So,
Right.
like,
Like, this was not like 20, 30 years ago. Yeah. No, I get
and
that.
to me, so what I'm judging is my continual hatred of the Republican Party and how fucking stupid they are because, like, you can run on all the things that you value and you can push that and you can talk about how you think government should run and you should talk about how we should be fiscally responsible on these other areas and you can do all of those things because that's what you're supposed to be doing. But when you're making up bullshit conspiracy things
Right.
that just don't that like the average person should be able to be like, the fuck is wrong with you?
Right.
That doesn't make any sense at all. You're just saying random crap. Like, God, you just gotta go.
Right.
You just gotta go. Like, I can't.
You're like,
Well, it's
stop it.
on top of all this, I don't know why. Claire, it has been, God, what year is this, 2022? It's been probably 8 years since I was registered Republican because Kentucky.
Right.
And just lazy, quite honestly.
Honest. Yeah. No, I get it. I'm still. Yeah.
And so
I get it.
it's also been, 4 or 5 years since I lived in Kentucky, and I still get text messages from Republican bullshit candidates trying to get me to vote. And like, I'm, I'm like, why do you have this number? You
You're
shouldn't
like,
have this
lose
number.
it now.
I always like, I'm sure there's no actual reply. There's no sending something back to anybody, but I always reply back with, vitriol because it's like, I,
Right.
this is not, I'm not who you think I am. It's like, I am the person you're railing against in the statement. It's like, I am the liberal on the other side, the extreme liberal on
Right.
the West Coast. That's exactly who I am. Lose my number.
You're like,
My
just
God,
get rid of
take
it.
me
Stop.
off your stupid lists.
I
Take it
don't
off.
want to see it. Yeah.
Like, I can, like, I mean, I
Yeah. I got a thing
unsubscribe
for
or
like,
stop all of those things, but like,
I got
there's
like a
some
text
master list
for,
somewhere with my number on it. Like, God
right.
damn it.
Yeah. I got a text for Rand Paul and I'm like, ew, no, go away. I'm not voting for you.
I got one
No.
that was like, we got to stop abortion in Kentucky. And I'm like, you are
No.
absolutely preaching to the wrong one. If I were there, I'd be out there on the door every day being like, you fucking idiots. Like, I literally had my tubes removed so that I could not have children because I'm terrified of the ridiculous bullshit that these moronic politicians are going to do.
Right. Right.
It's like, you
And
can't
see,
make me have kids now, so fuck
and that's
you.
one of the things I'm like kind of terrified about Tuesday is everybody's going to vote yes
I know.
on
I
that
know.
amendment thing. And it's like, maybe people will realize how fucking extreme it is and they won't.
No, because here's the thing. I mean, like, I
I
will
have
happily
hope
be surprised.
because
Yes.
Kansas,
Kansas surprised me,
I have hope, but
but
I'm
I
not
don't know.
delusional.
There's so much evangelical bullshit in Kentucky right now.
Right.
Stop. Like, just stop. You can't use an antiquated book that talks about nothing at all related to the situation in any way, shape, or form,
I know.
and
It's
use
just,
it to determine what other people can do. Stop it.
right.
It's not real. It's a book. Calm down. Calm down. Tired of religious bullshit. It makes me angry.
Right. It's
Anyway,
just like, yes, sorry. Like, oh, you know what else I hate? And the judge, people who use children in their ads.
oh God, especially
I
when
there's
they're holding the guns.
It's not even that. Like, it's whoever's running for mayor in Louisville. It's like Craig
Ah,
Greenberg and Bill Deeriff, and Bill Deeriff has got this one commercial with like this kid who's like, I don't know, 4 or 5,
Mm-hmm.
6 max. Anyway, he's a cute kid. He's kind of got a little bit of like a speech impediment, lispy type thing,
Gross.
like that kind of
That
deal.
yeah, I
And
feel
it's
like
just
that's just
like, quit making this child. I don't even know how this child is. I don't know if it's his kid. I don't know if this is like a nephew. I don't know. But
I
it's like,
guess.
quit making this child that does not know anything.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always like, I can't vote, so you go vote for me, blah, blah. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, stop
It's that
using children.
emotional bullshit. I
Oh,
hate that.
absolutely.
But
100%.
I also argue I don't necessarily want my higher up politicians having a family. Like, I don't want their attention to be divided. I mean, that's just me. I
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's not a secret. I don't want kids. Kids are not my favorite thing in the whole world. But like, I don't want them to have bad things happen. They should be able to go to school. They should be safe at
Right.
school. They should have access to everything they need to learn. They should have access to food. Like, I can care a lot about children without having children. And if I
Right.
don't have children, I have more time to do shit. So like,
Right.
the whole family man bullshit. I'm like, I don't care. I don't
Right.
care if you're married. I don't care if you have a family. I don't care what religion you pretend you believe in. None of that matters to me at all. I care what you specifically want to do for the community and what your ideas are and how to improve things and what you're willing to sacrifice yourself in order to, make sure
Right.
that you're doing the best you can. And, a golf trip every other week because you like to play golf. No, you can't do that.
Right.
Not that. You can have vacation, you can have mental health time. I'm here for that. But like, I
Right.
don't I don't want you spending your time making sure you go to your kid's recital because, you also need to be a good parent. I don't need you to be a good parent. I need you to be a good politician who cares and is trying to make change. So I've never understood that need to have a family in order to be in politics, which is there. Like everyone's like, here's my family. And if you don't have kids,
Right.
you still kids in your family to come be the kid, to be like, look, it's a
Right.
kid.
Like, it's my nieces and
That kid is
nephews.
stupid. I can
Ah.
persuade him of anything. So
Right.
like,
You're just like, yeah. People who use children in their ads too, they get on
yep.
my nerves. Like, stop. Quit.
Now, got a good cat. I'm here for that. I'm here to be
That's
persuaded by
right.
your cat.
Right. 100%.
But anyway, yeah. We've run around now.
Yes. We're done.
Sorry. God, I hate election time. It's a nightmare.
Same.
But that's okay, because hey guys, welcome to the main part of our show where it's
Yay.
actually gonna be more entertaining. Yay! This week's theme is spooky spooky.
Yes.
And is it me? Do I go
I
first?
think so. Yes, because I think I led last week with lobotomies. So,
Ah, yes, yes, yes. Okay. So this week for spooky spooky, I have brought to you past lives.
past lives?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you talking about your past lives or what?
Yes, my past life. I've had several. I was
Uh,
burned at the stake as witch. I'm pretty sure I was royalty for a hot second. Might have been beheaded. I'm a little temperamental, so it's fair. It's fair. No, no, no. Um, so for this story, I got my information from Psychology Today,
okay.
the University of Virginia School of Medicine, Medium, and ABC News.
Nice.
Hmm. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about Jim Tucker, who is a child psychiatrist at the University of Virginia, who has been studying the phenomenon of past lives for
Okay.
several years. Um, he has found more than 2,500 cases of kids that have spontaneous recall of a previous life.
How many?
2,500.
Holy cow.
And so in his research, he's discovered that most kids tend to start talking about a past life between like ages 2 and 4. It's when stuff kind of starts, which is fair. That's when they can kind of talk to you.
Yeah, yeah,
They can
right.
say things to you, and you're like, oh, okay. Um, that you can find verifiable statements, like they can give you verifiable information. And he has himself been able to verify these cases. Uh, Generally, though they start around 2 to 4, they also start to fade by the time they're 6 or 7, so they don't really remember it when they get
So it's
older.
like a really short time period.
It is a really short time period. And sometimes there are physical marks that can correlate. So they may have, birthmarks or a birth defect that corresponds specifically to the person that they remember being before,
Oh wow.
which is creepy.
That is weird. Yes. That's
Um,
a little
uh-huh.
creepy.
Of these 2,500 cases, 70% of those kids, so like over 2/3, they remember dying in their previous life in a traumatic way, like murder or suicide or like a really bad
Oh
accident.
no. Oh, that
And
sounds
yeah,
awful. Poor kids.
I know. Um, and so of that 70%, 35% of the group of kids have an intense fear related to like how they died, like maybe car accident or drowning, or so like they're afraid of water or
Or fire.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
So they theorize that kids who have these spontaneous memories, it's more likely they remember because they died less pleasantly in their previous
Gotcha.
life.
Mhm.
So that perhaps we all have past life memories, but if they were like if we died of old age and it was peaceful, we were happy, we
It's
may not
not.
have held
Yeah.
on to it in the same way. So
Right.
so it just kind of, and I'm like, okay, it's not creepy. We're all reincarnated. It's fine.
You're like,
No problem.
okay.
So I'm going to talk about some specific instances because kids are fucking creepy. Okay.
Oh yes,
That's really
100%.
This should really be the title of this episode. Kids are fucking creepy. I've talked to you about
Right.
the creepy ghosties that they see, and now we're talking about the creepy past lives that they have and tell us about,
Yes.
which is terrifying.
Weird.
Bleh. Um, so a little boy named Cameron was 2.5 years old when he began talking about his life in Barra, which is a remote island in the Outer Hebrides, which
And
is
this
south
kid,
of.
like, this kid is in America? Is that what you're like?
No, this kid was
Or
in
he's
he was in Scotland somewhere, but he was not
still
anywhere near Barra.
near where this is. Yeah, like there's no reason he should know about this place.
You don't go to the Outer Hebrides for like vacation, guys. It's remote and cold.
Yes.
By 3 years old, he was insisting in going to see his other family. He was like, I have to go see my other family. And they're like, you don't have another family, you weird
Right. You're
kid.
like, wait, what?
They're like, the heck is wrong?
He's 2 and he's already got a secret family. We see where this is going. I'm kidding. He's got a secret
Gotta
life. It's
start young, man.
that's
Start
right.
young. Oh my God. Uh, so he even remembered like his surname. He knew that he was a Robertson, and he
Whoa.
was convinced that his father had died after being hit by a car in his previous life.
Wow.
He talked a lot about a White House and a beach where planes would land. And he talked about having a black and white dog and that his dad's name was Shane.
So
And
he knew lots of stuff. Like this is
he
a
would
lot
draw,
of
and he's fucking 3, and he's drawing
right.
his White House by the beach, and he would complain about missing his other mother. He missed
Oh
my other mother,
no.
which I'm like,
I miss
you're
my
like,
other mother. Oh
uh,
no.
but I'm your mommy.
Like Coraline. That movie
Mm.
Coraline, the book.
Oh
Like other
yes,
mother.
the other mother.
Uh-huh.
So,
Creepy.
at 5, Jim Tucker from UV, University of Virginia, he went with Cameron and Cameron's family to Bara to search for the quote unquote Robertsons because they had no idea. Is this
Or to
real?
see
Is
if
this
this
not real?
house existed, or yeah.
So they flew there because it's an island,
Uh-huh.
and the plane landed on a beach.
Stop it. Oh my gosh.
They found a house that was owned by the Robertsons. It was a White House.
Oh my gosh.
In their family photographs, they had a black and white dog.
So weird.
There's also a car that Cameron had later had remembered as well, but it didn't tell me what it was.
Yeah.
The only thing was that they couldn't figure out who Shane was. Like they were like, there's something about Shane Robertson that wasn't quite right, like the name of his
Yeah.
dad. So they weren't really sure, but all of the other things were right. And he knew his way around the house when they got there, even though he'd never been there before.
Whoa.
And I'm like,
See,
it's a
this is
creepy
why
fucking
this is why
5-year-old.
you don't have kids.
No,
Right
they're
here.
fucking
This.
spooky, guys. They're
Yes.
spooky kids.
Absolutely
Ugh.
not.
Okay, so that's one instance. The next one I'm going to talk about is Ryan Hammonds. This one's pretty short. Ryan, at the age of 5, started having memories of his previous life, in which he was a Hollywood extra and a talent agent.
What?
And so they were able to find that it doesn't tell me his name. I couldn't find his last name or whatever.
Right,
But they
yeah.
were able to track it down and discovered that he had his memories of traveling the world was correct. He had traveled the world. That he, at 5, by the way, remembered having 5 wives. He got married 5 times in his previous life.
What?
Which,
Oh
that
my
sounds like a
god.
bullshit made up thing a kid would be like, how many wives
Right.
did you had? 5.
5. Right,
And you're
yeah.
like, oh, but this guy really did have 5 wives.
Because like little kids are like, she's my girlfriend and
Uh-huh.
he's my boyfriend. And it's like you've got like but you're like, you're really
Mhm.
just friends. Calm down.
But he also remembered dancing on Broadway. So, like, this is a 5-year-old.
Wow.
And he's like, I traveled the world
He's a
and I got
diva.
married 5 times and I danced on Broadway and I was an extra, but I wasn't great. So I became a talent agent instead. And you're like,
Wow.
all
That's crazy.
right. Okay. The next one, this one is pretty cool. James, I'm not gonna be able to say his last name. Leninger? Lining Leninger. James.
Uh-huh.
So when James was tiny, all kids have favorite toys. That's normal. But
Right, yes.
James would play with nothing but planes. He only wanted to play with planes, which, I mean, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's not super whatever. But then by the age of 2, he started having nightmares about planes and would say things like, airplanes crash on fire. Little man can't get out.
Oh no. That sounds
And
awful.
you're like, you're a 2-year-old. Why are you saying this?
Why,
It's
yeah, like you've never
creepy.
been on a plane. Like,
No, it's like,
stop.
you've not done it. You don't even know that planes crash. It's not a thing you understand yet.
Right.
By the age of 3, when he would play with his planes, he would play with them in a way that looked like he was giving them pre-flight checks. And can you imagine being a parent being like,
Excuse me?
What you doing there, buddy? Just making sure that the blah 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 is in the blah 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 and everything is in the field up in the moon. You're like, the hell?
Like, was he a pilot in a past life?
So one time, his mom bought him a toy plane and pointed out what appeared to be a bomb on the underside. But James corrected her. Again, he's 3.
Yes.
And told her, no, that's not a bomb. It's a drop tank. I'd never heard of a drop tank, his mother said. Like,
Wow.
I don't know what that is. How does my kid know what that is?
Right, right.
He's fucking 3. She's like, it's not a thing we know. So
It's not like they're talking about that shit on Bluey or anything,
no, they're not. They
or
don't.
Sesame
No.
Street or whatever.
Drop tanks probably don't come up. I've never heard of that. I have no idea what that is.
Nope,
So,
me neither.
so then he started to reveal details about his life as a World War II pilot.
What?
So according
World
to
War II. Oh my god.
so according to Little James, His plane had been hit by the Japanese and crashed. And he said that he had flown a Corsair and that they used to get flat tires all the time. And it turns out that's accurate. They did used to get
Oh,
flat tires all the
that's
time. And you're
crazy.
like, okay.
Like, there's no way he would have known that. Yeah.
He knew the name of the boat that his plane took off from, called the Natoma, and he knew that one of his fellow pilot friends was called Jack Lanson. Or no, Jack
Wow.
Larson. Sorry, I can't read my own notes.
Right. No, I get you. Sometimes I'm like, what does that say?
And he remembered that he was shot down at Iwo Jima.
Oh my gosh.
And then this is to me where so like they went and
Wow.
verified all of this.
Well,
Like
yeah. I mean,
and cuz uh weirdly around this time little James when he would draw his probably airplanes, I don't know what he drew, but when he would do crayon stuff
right,
and he
right.
would sign his name, he signed it James 3 because it turned
Like with
out
like the three
like
lines, or
yeah.
like the
Mhm.
like three.
Like I
Okay, gotcha.
James 3. James the 3rd.
Yes.
Because it turned out that his past life self was also named James. James M. Houston Jr., which meant that his past
If
life,
since he was
since it was a
that's fucking
junior, that
creepy.
means there was a senior. So this James was James
It's
the 3rd.
that's creepy.
I know, it's so fucking creepy.
No, I'm not here for creepy children. Absolutely not. I'm like,
And
no, no, no,
it's
no.
one of those, like, it's more creepy because they're so little and you're like, how did, like, it's okay. Maybe I left
Yes,
the
because
History Channel on or something, but like,
right,
ultimately, this particular pilot that he remembered being was not someone like I mean, he wasn't famous, he wasn't in things, like he wouldn't have been mentioned
right.
anywhere. He was just, a a normal guy,
Well, and
at
that's what sounds
war.
like a lot of these people. Like they're not
They're
super
just
famous.
people,
They're
yeah.
not somebody that you would see on the
Mhm.
news or people would mention in documentaries or whatever. It's just Joe Schmo people. They're like, what is happening?
Okay. And now for the spookiest of them all,
Yes, hit me.
the Pollock twins.
Pollock twins.
The
Okay,
Pollock twins. Now this
gotcha.
one, I have heard this on a couple of podcasts in different ways, and every time I hear it, it gives me the spooky spooks. I get the creepy creeps and the crawlies and the chills and the blahs. The Pollock twins. So we're gonna go back to May 1957.
Okay. When did these other? By the way, when did these other ones take place?
These were all in like the last 20 years. They
Okay,
were all
so
pretty
the
current.
others that you talked about were more recent. Okay,
Yes,
gotcha.
yeah, these were all within the Jim Tucker, not James, God, too many J's. The
I know,
Jim
right?
his research has been in the last like 20ish years. So it's
Okay,
been like
gotcha.
90s early 2000s I think is
Okay,
mostly when they came from.
gotcha.
So it's May 1957
All right.
and a woman who had been forcibly separated from her children, doesn't really go into why, doesn't really matter. Um is very distraught, decides she's going to commit suicide. And
Okay.
so she takes what she thought was a lethal dose of aspirin and phenobarbital and started driving at full speed in her car with the intention of hitting something at full speed and just taking
Just
herself out.
yeah.
Being like, I'm out,
Uh-huh.
I'm done, no more. Well, she did hit a wall, but she didn't die.
Uh.
Um, However, in the collision, 3 children did die that happened to be walking to church.
Oh no.
11-year-old Joanna Pollock, 6-year-old Jacqueline Pollock, her sister, and one of their friends. They just were walking to church. They happened to be there when she ran into a
Wrong
wall.
place, wrong time
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Very sad, very tragic. The woman was like arrested and put in like a facility. Like she
Yeah.
was absolutely out of her mind. That's just where the story starts, is with the tragic deaths of Joanna and Jacqueline Pollock. So their parents, John and Florence Pollock, obviously horrific. They lost their two
Right.
children. Um, However, a year later, they were pleased to discover that they were pregnant with twins.
Okay.
And so they were moving forward, and they had two twin little girls. They were identical twins. They named them Jillian and Jennifer because they loved the J sound.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Whatever, whatever. And immediately after Jillian and Jennifer were born, they noticed some very bizarre coincidences. So Jennifer had two birthmarks. One that was identical to Jacqueline's birthmark that she'd had, which was a round dark mark on the left side of her waist. Same place, same thing. They thought that's bizarre.
Yeah, yeah.
The second birthmark was right over her right eye, which was identical to the scar that Jacqueline got when she fell and hit her head when she was younger. So you're like, that's
Weird.
weird.
It's a little
Okay.
uncanny. Okay.
You're just like, okay, okay. It's creepy, but whatever. At 3 years old, Jillian and Jennifer were presented with some old toys that had belonged to Joanne and Jacqueline that they had, kept up, put away, yada,
Right,
as
right.
parents
Yeah.
do, as parents do.
Yes.
And parents John and Florence were surprised that the girls didn't fight over any of the toys. Like they just like took certain ones, like they just divided them correctly and started playing with toys.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, Jillian claimed all of Joanna's old toys, and Jennifer claimed all of Jacqueline's old toys. They just,
Automatically divided them out and was like,
mm-hmm. It's weird.
that's a little weird. Okay.
So, as you know, Joanna, when she died, was 11. She was 5 years older than her sister Jacqueline. But and as such, Joanna had taken a more mature, kind of motherly role to her little sister, help
Yeah.
out and
Mm-hmm.
and take care of her. Um, Jillian also took a more mature and responsible role towards her twin Jennifer, even though they were the
The
same
same
age.
age. Yep.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So back when Joanna and Jacqueline were little, their grandmother had been their primary day-to-day caregiver because the parents were running their own business.
Okay.
So it was mostly grandma taking care of the girls. But by the time the twins came along, Florence was able to put aside that and be the primary caregiver. She stayed home with
Gotcha.
them,
Mm-hmm.
was there all the time. Grandma just came over for funsies. But even still, Jillian and Jennifer would always seek out grandma when they wanted like love or guidance or things that you would normally run to mommy for,
Right, right.
even though they never had that relationship with grandma.
With her previously,
Hmm.
yeah.
So when Jacqueline died, she was learning how to write. She was 6. So she was still learning how to write, and her
Mm-hmm.
teacher had had a conversation with the parents about helping her learn how to hold her pencil correctly because she was holding it, like on her fist, like hold
Right, like
fist,
just like a scribble, like
like
yeah.
scribble, 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 scribble. With my chapstick here. And so when Jillian and Jennifer got older and started to learn how to write, Jillian held the pencil correctly right away, just took right off. But Jennifer struggled and kept reverting back to holding the pen upright in her fist for like a couple of years.
Huh.
Just now,
Wow.
here's where it gets extra spooky, Yuki, to me.
Okay.
So when Jillian and Jennifer were 9 months old, the family moved from their home in the town that they had been in and hadn't been back. So, and they weren't like the next town over or anything. Like they had moved further away.
Yeah, yeah.
When they did come back for their first visit when Jillian and Jennifer were older, having again not been there since they were 9 months old,
Right.
Jillian and Jennifer knew their way around the area. They knew where the park was, they knew how to get to the park, they knew where the swings were.
Wow.
It creeps me out.
A little bit, yeah. It's
Mhm.
like,
And they were deathly afraid of cars and hate and just terrified of crossing streets, just
wow.
for no reason.
Because they themselves had never experienced anything that
Right.
was, yeah.
One time they heard like a car engine, I think like maybe rev or something. I'm not sure. When they were in like a closed alleyway, and they like recoiled in horror, like they were really freaked out by it,
Wow.
and um, they were screaming, the car, it's coming for us!" And you're like,
Oh my gosh. Like, what?
mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm,
You're like, no, nope, nope.
uh-uh, mm-mm, 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 mm-mm.
No, thank you.
One day, oh, this one's gross too. One day, Jillian was cradling Jennifer's head and crying, "The blood's coming out of your eyes. That's where the car hit you."
What?
Blah,
That's crazy.
blah, blah,
Nope.
blah.
Nope, nope, nope.
Um, but just like some of the other
Ah,
cases, once they were like 7 years old, they stopped having those memories and those things, and they kind of faded
and then it
away.
was like they all kind of just evened out.
Hmm. Although in, let's see, 1981, so at this point, Jillian is a grown up. Jillian started having visions in which she saw herself playing in a sand pit in Wickham, which was a town that the family lived in when Joanna, which was the oldest daughter who had died,
Uh-huh.
Joanna was around 3 years old when they had lived there, and they had never been
Like
back.
she had never been
She
there.
had never been there. They hadn't been back. But like even Jacqueline had never been there. Like it was,
Oh
Joanna was
wow,
3
yeah.
when they were there. But Jillian was able to perfectly describe the lawn, the house, and the gardens, and she'd never once been in Wickham. So like the memories were still like in there,
Even when she was
even when
older.
she was
Like it
older. They
all
just
just didn't disappear.
no, it's just like all of a sudden she just like triggered, and she's like, I remember this. Suddenly I remember this place, and you're like, the fuck?
Wow. And that's even it's weird because it's like children within the same family. It's not like
Yes.
completely somebody else down the line that
Well, and like
whatever.
it's not in my notes because I didn't read it in my sources, but I am like 87% sure that in one of the podcasts I listened to, um, they had like a weird conversation with their parents of like, we wanted to come back to you. And you're like, what?
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's
And I'm like, oh,
crazy.
and it gives me the chills just thinking about
I
it.
know that's like,
Ugh,
ooh, that's
ugh,
weird.
ugh. I cannot have ghost babies, and I cannot have real babies, and I cannot have past life. There are no babies. I can have none of this because they're fucking creepy, man.
Oh my
I have
gosh.
not. I have not personally come across a child that is telling me about a
No.
past life.
Mm-mm.
Thank God, because I would probably throw up and run away.
Right. Just imagine if
But
like one of my brother's kids, "Aunt Claire, blah blah blah." Like, wait, what? What?
well, and it's one of those like I think I might have already told you this. Like I was listening to no, maybe I told somebody else. I was listening to a song on my Pandora station one day when I was driving back from work, and just had this weird, overwhelming sense of a
Right.
memory.
Mhm.
And it's not one of my memories because I'm like, that never happened. I don't remember that at all. But like, it's very vivid and distinct. And I'm like, the fuck is that?
You're like, what's happening right now?
And it was like bizarrely triggered by this song that was not talking about anything remotely related to what I was remembering, but
Right. Right.
just something about the song created a
You did,
memory
like
or brought up that, maybe I'm having a vision of a
right.
memory, but I'm like, I
Right.
can I can specifically see like a pond and like the grass around it and like a house that's slightly set away, and it's not any house that I know of, but like, and I'm sitting by the
That's
pond,
weird.
and like I'm crying, and I'm sitting by a pond, and like
That's
this
weird.
this guy who or older guy who I know, but I have no idea because it's not like a real memory, obviously,
Right,
is
right.
like coming to sit next to me to comfort me, like parentally or like some kind of something. But like
Yeah.
I don't have the vaguest idea, but I'm like that. It was a weird moment because I'm driving the car. I'm like, am I having a stroke? Is this
I'm having a stroke.
like what the fuck is this?
You're like, what is happening to me right
Like
now?
I've seen lots of ponds or whatever. Like I've not
Right,
seen
right,
this pond. I don't know this pond. This is not my
right.
pond.
You're like, yeah.
Like I don't know who this guy is that is suddenly in my memory, but I'm like, hi. I don't know. But like it was not like a now time. It was definitely like an old time
Right.
feel. So it just was gross. So now I'm like, good, we all have past lives. I was crying by a pond
Yay.
in a past life. What can I say?
You're like, I don't know.
I don't know why. And someone was mean to me. I have like a distinct bullying feel to that
Like, that's why
memory.
you
Like
were crying,
someone
is
teased
because.
me or like something, very like I'm a kid, like I'm a little kid in this
Right, right, right,
memory. I'm
right.
like, what the fuck is this thing?
Right.
So I have like a vague recollection of like the feel of this made up memory that happened while I'm driving in a car.
Nice.
But that's about as close as I can get to like a
To,
weird.
like, being like, I'm reincarnated.
Well, I mean, I was burned at the stake as a witch, but that's just odds, man. Odds are.
Odds.
Odds are I didn't make it.
Oh.
But there it is. There's my story of spooky
That is,
children and their creepy
yes.
reincarnated lives. And I think what's like, it's one thing to hear the stories, but it's another to be like, the University of Virginia School of Medicine has been
Right.
doing years long study and research into this, and it's not been actively debunking. And I'm going,
Well, and, like, I think too, the fact that they're going and they are finding these people that these kids say that they were, and they were real, and
and they have
they're
real,
accurate.
verifiable information. Like,
Yes. And they're accurate with all their info, and it's like,
mhm.
"Oh my gosh, that's bad."
It is very creepy, spooky, and I hate it.
And you're like, "Children, ew."
PSA, don't have children. Or if you do, don't listen to anything they say until they're like 7. After that, it gets okay. Just ignore it all.
It's fine,
Don't
it's
ask
fine.
about the imaginary friends. That's a bad idea. Don't do it. Don't do it. Trust me. Don't ask. Um Also, maybe don't ask them why they know so much about planes. Just assume they were watching the History Channel at night or something. Just weird YouTube video they were watching. Don't question it. Just be like,
Right, right.
okay. We'll all
Oh
be
my
happier that
gosh.
way.
Well,
What?
that was an excellent spooky story.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
I'll let you share that with your friends who have children and be like,
Yeah, I'll be
hey,
like,
hey,
"Look."
look,
Right?
there's
Oh
some
my
spooky
gosh.
shit out there.
It's true.
All right. So, Claire, what have you brought
Yes.
us for spooky?
I am going to be talking about the Hoia Bashu forest in Romania.
Ooh. I almost did a forest myself.
Did you really?
I did. I was starting down that path and I went, no, let's go with the thing that just freaks me out in general. Children. Children freak me out. Let's find a weird children thing.
Right, right. Got my sources from Wikipedia, obviously.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Um, tourinromania.com, atlasobscura.com, Reader's Digest Asia.com,
Ooh.
and mybestplace.com. So, anyway, Hoia Bashu Forest is located in the northwest section of Romania in the Transylvania area.
Ooh.
So people also go there because Dracula, you
Well, I
know.
mean, of course.
Yeah. But it's right outside of a city called Cluj,
Hmm.
and area covers 750 acres, and it is known as Romania's Bermuda Triangle and one of the world's most haunted forests. So
Yay.
many disappearances and paranormal activities have been reported in this forest, around this
So we're
forest.
not going camping there, is what you're saying.
No, I wouldn't recommend it.
I mean, I'm pro paranormal experience. I'm anti
Right.
disappearances. I don't want to disappear.
Yes.
It's
Yes,
too
right,
creepy.
right. And so just the look of the forest itself doesn't help its reputation at all. The trees, they don't go grow just straight up like normal trees that we see here. They're all bent and spiral and twisted and legit look like something out of a Tim Burton movie.
Okay,
And it says all the trees that spiral, they spiral clockwise. Like that's
that's
weird.
weird.
Yes. And scientists don't have an explanation for why these trees have such bizarre growth pattern. It's just
Well,
like
the
we
answer
don't
is
know.
ghosts.
Like
Duh.
we don't know. So, most of any of the reported paranormal activity is concentrated in this particular part of the forest. It is a circular clearing where there is nothing growing. Like it's just like the overall shot, it's like forest and then just this giant circle in the middle that doesn't have like any trees or vegetation. The one shot I saw had snow, so it was kind of hard to see, but still, it's just this big open circle.
Ugh.
And they tested the soil, and there are no anomalies that were found to prevent any growth. So they don't know why this clearing exists. Like it's like why? Why
Have
is there
they,
nothing
excuse
here? We don't
have
know.
they tried planting anything there to see what would happen?
I didn't see that,
I mean, like
but
that's what I would do.
right. Be
Because
like, hey,
I don't know anything.
yeah.
I would be
It
like,
didn't say
oh,
that they had
let's plant
specifically
a tree
tried
here
that.
and see what happens.
Right. They hadn't specifically said they tried that, but it's just this like, why is there this like circular area where
Yeah,
there's
that's,
nothing?
I mean,
But
you'd think.
yeah, it's like I don't know. But legend says that the forest was named after a sheep herder who led his flock of 200 sheep into the forest, and he and all of his flock vanished without a trace. No sign of like they never found any remains. They just disappeared.
Poor
And
sheep.
I'm like, that's a lot of fucking sheep to just like
Yeah.
go missing.
Well, and
Like
like,
200 sheep just gone.
like
I think honestly, I feel like after reading this, I'm like, there's got to be some kind of portal into
it's
another
probably in that
dimension.
circle, man. Don't go in the
Probably.
circle.
And then another legend talks of a 5-year-old girl, again with the children,
Ugh.
who entered the forest and disappeared again, out of trace. 5 years later, she miraculously reappears, but she's wearing the same clothes and she hasn't aged. She looks exactly the same. It's the exact same child. And
Ew.
she said that she couldn't remember anything that happened.
She's like,
Like,
I've only been gone 5 minutes.
right. It was like,
Ugh.
yeah, I don't remember what happened kind of thing. You're just like, wait,
Ugh.
what?
Oh. Oh, no, 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 no.
You're like, none of this. No, no, no. No, no. And in the 1960s, a biologist named Alexandru Sift photographed flying objects hovering over the clearing in the forest. But, like, I think it said before he died, like, they got destroyed somehow. So
Yeah.
there's none of those. But in 1968, a military technician named Emil Barnia, I guess that's how you say it, don't at me, was in the forest with his girlfriend and like two other friends. And his girlfriend was like, hey, come look at this weird thing that's in the sky. And it was like a shining silver disc.
Hmm.
And so they all saw it. All four of them saw it. He actually got 4 photos before the object like zipped away. And he said they all saw it. It was about 2 minutes worth of them just seeing this thing in the sky that was weird. And so he, developed the pics. He sent the pics into local papers, but skeptics come out of the woodwork
Right.
and they're like, "Oh, it's a weather balloon." And I'm like, "Nay, nay, we have been down that road before."
I just,
You
it
know,
can't always be a weather
US
balloon,
government.
okay? It just
US
can't.
government. Like whatever. Yeah, right. You're like, we've been down this road before. Or some kind of blimp. So a lot of these investigators checked out to see if there were anybody who had released a weather balloon into the area or any blimps that had been scheduled flight wise. Couldn't find any evidence of
Hmm.
any of that being a thing at
Well,
the
and I feel
time.
like someone's going to report their expensive weather balloon or blimp missing.
Right, right, yeah. If somebody had
Just
taken
saying.
it, absolutely.
They're not free.
Yeah. And they even went and examined the negatives to his photos to see if they had been altered, and they
Mm-hmm.
had not. They were deemed legitimate. So, there were pictures that he took of this thing in the sky that they don't know what it is. So, UFO. Yay! I always love it when they're like, "It's a UFO." It's like, "Where? I want to see. I want to see a
Yes.
UFO somewhere." Maybe we should
I
go there and stand in the circle and look for
I
UFOs.
don't think I want to see a UFO. I'm gonna be honest, because like now I have to look at the window, make sure everything's safe.
I mean, I don't want to be
I
so
just
close to a UFO that I get like abducted, like what's his face, like Travis Walton that I talked
right,
about
but
earlier on.
like
But
I I am under the impression that it's um it's just once you see one, then you see all of them. Like they
and then you're like, they're
come back
after
for you all
me.
the time. It's like bleh. Now I'm paranoid. There's like an alien outside my window. I'm like, ugh, ugh, gross.
But anyway, so many people visit this forest because you got people who are looking for all the spooky,
Well,
spooky things.
yes. And to
And
go
so,
missing and not age. Like it's the
right,
fountain of youth in there, man.
right, right. They come to the forest of curiosity for the paranormal, and they report odd symptoms upon entering and leaving. Some people will report severe anxiety
Well, I have severe anxiety just listening to it. So, I
as soon,
mean,
but I'm talking about people who don't normally, I guess, suffer from that. Like severe
who
anxiety as
don't do
soon as
this
they,
podcast? Yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah, as long as they walk, as soon as they walk in, some of them have like extreme paranoia that they're being watched or followed.
Ugh.
And I'm just like, that's creepy. And then others report leaving with scratches and bruises, and there's no explanation where they came from because they didn't like bump into anything, they didn't fall because there are trails. I mean, there's like,
Right.
it's not just like, oh, I'm walking into the woods and I'm just going to run into a tree, and others report having severe nausea, fatigue, feelings of dread, and some have severe migraines or they come out with rashes or burns.
Ugh.
Again, no explanation because they don't, it's like, I don't know, you know? And at night, people report glowing orbs, like these ghostly orb things that they
Don't
see.
follow those things.
Well, and it says that they show like a kind of intelligence, and it's like they know that people are searching them out and wanting to follow them. But then I
Ew.
think of like the will o
The
wisp
will-o-wisp. Like,
things.
it's gonna lead
Yes.
you to your death, you dumbass.
Yes. I
Stay,
know. It's like,
don't
don't do
follow the
that.
light, man. Stay away from that light.
Right.
Blech.
Nope, nope. Just stay far away. And so visitors and locals both have reported strange voices that can be heard. They're coming from the forest, and these voices range from anything to just like a little murmur to like loud shrieking. And there's nobody there. There's not any nothing to
Mm-mm.
suggest like there's no
Mm-mm.
person, they're just
Mm-mm.
there.
Mm-mm.
Disembodied voices
No, thank you. Hard
murmuring.
pass.
I know, murmuring or shrieking. It's like, is it a
Hard
banshee? We
pass on
don't
the
know.
disembodied voices. Hard pass.
Right, right, right,
Blah.
right. Same.
Absolutely not camping there. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
like camping, but like for reals, not camping
like,
there.
yeah, right. And others have said that apparitions have been reported, and as well as people suffering from like unseen physical attacks. Like they'll be pushed, shoved down, and or scratched, not by anything, but just they'll get like fingernail scratches from nothing, or somebody will like pull on them and try to like pull them down. And yeah, I know. I'm just like, forests are so creepy. Really, they
uh,
are. But some scientists believe that all of the unexplained things that happen in this forest are in the soil, but not in the circular part because there was nothing wrong with the circular part. It has higher than normal radioactivity in certain parts of the subsoil due to natural uranium found in the area, like except in the circular clearing.
okay. I love how it's radioactive soil except in the area where nothing is
I know,
growing.
it's just like we tested it, there's nothing there. It's like,
And you're
wait,
like,
what?
but it's
It's
everywhere
weird.
else, so
Weird, weird, weird. Yes, yes.
oh my god.
So weird.
Ick.
I know. And it's like I think of all these movies I've seen about like haunted forests. I'm like, yeah, 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 whatever. But then when you hear like real people talk about like, oh, I went into this forest and something pushed me, but nothing was there. You're
Or
like, wait, what?
I went for a stroll in the forest. I took a 20-minute stroll. I didn't touch anything and I came out and I'm covered in scratches and I'm bruised all to hell and I'm like,
Right. Or
I
I've got a
didn't fall.
rash. I've got a weird rash, or I'm
I mean, like
burned. I don't.
the rash, like I can probably explain away a rash because I'm like, well, I probably touched something and it's just reacting somewhere else in my body because bodies are stupid. But like, you don't get burned
Right,
without
right,
touching something to burn you. So
right,
you're like, I didn't touch anything.
right. So even
Blech.
though with all these tales and rumors, Hoia has lovely walking and biking trails and has a popular park so you can experience some of the area's best outdoor recreation.
Okay, broad daylight, other people, and lots of snacks. Okay,
Right. Yes.
I'll do that.
They did have,
Never
I
at night.
was in my quest to find information. There was a whole website dedicated to tours, daytime and nighttime tours. And the nighttime tours were almost remind me of like Waverly almost because it was like you could get it for like 2 or 3 hours and you'd walk so far, but then there were some that were
And they
like
leave you in
four.
the clearing, and you're like,
Yeah,
just let
right.
me
And
in.
you're like,
We'll come back
ah.
for you. And you're like, no.
And there's some that were like 4 hours and you'd walk like 3 miles and they'd tell you about how far you were gonna walk.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was one that was like 7 plus, and I'm like, hell to the no. I am not walking 7 plus hours at night.
No,
Are
at
you
that point,
stoned?
I'm like, give me a campfire and tell me spooky stories at the
Right.
campfire. That's my level of commitment, guys.
You
Sorry.
know, and so, but then there was one where you could actually like go camping, like go on a tour thing, and you would camp in the forest. And I'm like, that sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah,
I don't
I
think I
mean,
want to participate. And then they had daytime tours too, where you could go in and take pictures and stuff like that.
I
But
think I'm a daytime tour girl. Maybe like an hour after dusk, and but we only go like 5 feet in.
I don't know. I was kind of like, I think out of the nighttime tours, I'm like, I feel like I could probably possibly do the 4 hour one because it was like a 5K is what you would walk
Right,
through.
right, right.
You
Which
know,
fine.
I've run
To
one of
me,
those.
think
It's
of it
fine.
as the okay. Hill House is obviously the best Halloween spooky series ever. Let's just be real. It's perfect.
Oh, on Netflix, yes.
Yes. Uh, the thing that it's stupid, and like the first time they said it, you didn't pay attention, but then they said it like 2 or 3 times in the series, and it just sounded fucking stupid, but it stays in my head. Is what's her name? Who's like in the dark, in the night. We don't go out in the dark, in the night,
Oh
and so like
yes,
it resonates in my like. I think it's stupid after
right,
she says it once or twice. Then it just sounds weird, but like it pops in my head all the time, and I'm like, I'm not doing that in the dark, in the night. No.
right,
And I'm
right.
like, oh, let's go for a 5K in the dark, in the night.
And you're like,
No,
absolutely not.
no, no.
Like we're running it. We're leisurely walking with flashlights and looking at weird things. But
Right, but I'm also grasping your arm with all of my like, with like my death hold of
yeah,
like, don't
Claire
let
comes
them
out.
take me.
Claire comes out. And they're like, "What is that weird handprint on your arm?" Like, oh, it was just April
It's just me.
having a cow and couldn't handle it.
You can't. I don't love the dark, guys. It's fine. I mean, like, I love when it is dark, but I don't want to be in the dark
In the dark.
in the night.
No, not at all. But anyway, so that's the story of the Hoia Bashu Forest in Romania,
I love it. So,
Transylvania area.
important follow-up. Were your parents ever anywhere near there? Were they in
I
that
want
area?
to say they drove by a castle of his, of Dracula's.
Well, I mean, when you're a vampire, you probably have many castles, so that's
Yeah.
fair.
Oh, yeah. For you people who don't know, my parents went several years to Romania in a row, and my brother did too. April and I jokingly called it taking Jesus to the vampires. Uh,
Somebody's got to do
I
it.
know. They would go on these mission trips and do basketball camps and VBS stuff for the
Hmm.
people in this one area. I remember them talking about Bucharest and Lugoj and stuff like that. I don't know that they
Well,
actually went there
I
or
feel
were near
like I,
there.
I feel like I would love to see Joe Allen in the clearing, just for him to be like, nothing grows here, Just
But yeah, my parents have been to Romania several times over the years. I don't think they've specifically been there,
I
but
wonder if we'll ever make it to Romania. It's not specifically on my list, but it's not on my list, if you know what I
I
mean.
mean,
Because there are like some
I want to
places
go to a
that
Dracula place.
yeah, but there's some places in the world that I'm like I don't want to go there. I don't. It's not at all.
'Cause I
And
think there was one year they went, and while they were there was this big thing because one of Vlad the Impaler's castles was like up for sale for like $15 million. And mom
ooh,
had texted me or sent me something, and I'm like, yeah, let's just go buy that with our pocket change. Yeah.
that's right. Piece of vampire history there, man.
I know, right? It's like, but anyway, yeah. Taking
Well,
Jesus to the vampires.
you just need to go get a Powerball ticket and win the
I know.
$1.6 billion that it currently is,
I
and
do
you
need to
can
do that
probably buy
before
a Dracula's castle at that point.
I could. I do need to go buy a ticket before tonight. Just to.
Yeah, I may try and pick one up
I
today.
mean, it's like it's this high. Why not?
Yeah,
Why not?
gotta gotta try. Start my own country with that kind of money.
Right?
Anyway,
I build a theater for the playhouse, and then I just disappear off the grid. Be
right?
like,
It's like
see you bye.
I have a new name.
Right, right.
All right. Well, I guess now that we have spooked each other out, children.
Yes,
Oh, maybe this true spooky thing would be the creepy children in the creepy circle in the creepy forest.
I couldn't handle it.
That's too many things. It's too many things.
I couldn't do it. Nope,
Mm-mm.
nope, nope. I can only handle like one creepy thing at a time.
I know.
Like,
It's like I have to like toe my way into the creepy, like one toe at a time. Thank you.
right, right. It's just like, oh, geez.
All right. That must mean it's time for tarot time with April. A spooky
Yes.
spooky. Oh, what spooky thing happened to me this week? I had a story. What was it?
You had a
Shoot,
spooky
shoot,
story?
shoot, shoot, shoot. Yeah, I had like a weird spooky thing that happened. I was like, bleh. You know how it goes. God, what was it? I was like super excited to tell you about it today
And
in
then now
honor
you've
of our
forgotten
spooky
all about
spooky.
it. And then now you've forgotten
And
about
now I've
it.
forgotten it. Well, hell's bells. Hmm. Hmm. Oh well. We'll just shuffle the cards.
All
Tell
right.
me when to stop, Claire.
Okay.
They're gonna have to shuffle the cards. They don't want to shuffle. The spooks have gotten to them.
Oh
Doing
my gosh,
it.
you're dropping them everywhere.
I know. We're just gonna,
Stop.
we're just gonna. Ah,
They're all over the place.
ah, this is not going well. It's not going well at all. Okay, okay. All right. Do you want to do our three piles again?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. We have the Queen of Cups,
Ooh, Queen of Cups. We've had her a
the
few times.
Eight of Cups, And the 5 of Pentacles / coins.
Okay. Cool, cool.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
Cups.
goodness. Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is often psychic, empathetic, and kind. She isn't insecure or shallow. She is deep and calm and is a soothing balm to all who need her assistance. I need her right now. You understand?
Yes.
Let's see. Let's see. Blah blah blah. Okay, so she's not going to spill her emotions, but she's not going to share them easily either. She will stop to carry a turtle across the road and will give a kind word to the sad faces she passes. She will put her heart where her mouth is. So, okay. She's kindness.
Right.
I don't. Surely that's not me. Usually the court cards are like you or someone in your life, like the representative of someone. Um, I don't. Does that mean I'm gonna be kind this week? I don't. That doesn't sound right. I don't.
April's like, I don't want to make
I
kind.
it's I mean I might be. I've been grouchy AF as of late, but like all of my stuff is wrapping up, so maybe I will be kinder this week. You never know. Stranger things have happened.
Right.
Okay. The 8 of Cups. Didn't we have this recently? Only because it says I call this the hangover card, and it sounds very familiar to me.
It
It's
wasn't last week, I don't
true,
think.
but it can be brought in to include overdoing it in other ways, like being a tyrant at work. Oh, this was from 2 weeks ago because I just edited that.
Oh, okay. That's why it's super familiar
I
to
was
you.
like,
You're
why is
like,
that really familiar? And I literally just listened to this last night. That's why. Hi. Hi, April. Hangover again. Enjoy. Um, blah 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 blah. Like being a tyrant at work, being a party girl when you should be home. It's kind of the morning after walk of shame card. You've somehow walked away from the important truths in your life and have to shake your head to knock the cobwebs out. It's a card that happens just before the client asks for redemption. There's nothing at all wrong with playing video games. There is so much wrong with using video games to escape your marriage. Claire,
yes.
stop playing video games to escape your marriage and your parenting duties.
I think you need to tell that to Brandon.
I'll be sure to pass that along. I'll send a
Yes.
screenshot.
That's right.
It seems that vices are vices, not because they are inherently bad for us, but because too much of them is terrible for us. Okay. So, I guess I'm going to be kind, but then I'm going to be hungover on my kindness, so I'm going to get over that and get back to my get back to my 5 of pentacles here, or coins, whichever deck you like.
Yes.
I like pentacles the best. It soothes my teenage rebellious spirit from evangelical upbringing. It's
Right.
real 100% what it is. And that's fine. I own it. I own it. That's fine. Okay. The 5 of Pentacles. Down on your luck? Great.
Woo.
Being ill? Being disconnected from hope? This card is really a punch in the stomach.
Great.
All of those things that keep you up at night, all those things that you can't control that keep you up all night. You lost your job, you lost your love, the ground under your feet has shifted, and things are going to be difficult for a while. Great.
How apropos.
The distractions are internal. You're not grounded. If you can take a deep breath and lift your head, you'll see that help is waiting there for you. Awesome.
Great.
So I'm gonna be super kind. We're gonna be kind.
Uh-huh.
Then we will have been too kind. So we have to revert back and find that everything sucks again.
And you're like, great, fantastic.
Yay! What a great week for us in the cards. Yay, everybody. Yay.
I'd rather have a crappy week at the beginning and end on a good note instead of the other way around.
It's fair. It could be the other way around. That's just how I the order I read them in, but it doesn't mean it's the right
Right.
order. I'm making this up as I go.
You're making it up.
All right, let us return now to find out what the fates have in store for us for next week, Claire.
Right? We'll see. All right.
What is going to be on our wheel
Wheel
of
of
fate?
Fate.
It's gonna be. I actually have something I want it to be, but it's never gonna
Okay.
be what I want. It's never gonna be what I want. I mean, it eventually has to be, but
Oh boy.
what?
Tales from the Workforce.
Oh God.
That's from Ellen.
Okay, well, that'll have to be heavily edited.
That's from Ellen.
That'll be fun. So be sure to join us next time as we cover probably a lot of stories from retail life and public servant life. Yay! Yes.
Right.
Names will be changed to protect our jobs.
Right. Oh,
That's
jeez.
that's gonna be hysterical. Okay. So, you can find us in all the things and all the places at.
Brunch and Judge.
Please follow, like, subscribe, send us a comment or two. We always enjoy those. It does help every single one. And
Yes.
if you'd like to send us some more topics for our wheel or some story ideas that you would like for us to share in any of our stories, you can send those to.
Brunchandjudge@gmail.com.
So until next time, keep on brunching
And keep on judging.
and also stay away from children in spooky forests.
Yes.
Bye!
Bye.
Brunch and Judge.